Six things to do in Quito. Hi, I'm Lori, a senior solo traveler, and I recently spent 24 hours in Quito. I arrived late one night and woke early to meet a guided tour of the historic center of Quito. It was supposed to be a group tour, but I was the only one, so I happily enjoyed a private tour with the amiable and knowledgeable Wilson from Metropolitan Touring. The tour took most of the day, and I felt like we covered vast areas of historic Quito. There were six places we visited that stood out for me. Number one, the Virgin of El Panecillo. We had a driver for the beginning of the trip, and our first stop was the viewpoint on top of El Panecillo. Up top, there was a large plaza where you could take in the views of Quito. The main draw to the hilltop is the Virgin of El Panecillo. The monument is 135 feet high, is the highest statue in Ecuador, and one of the highest in South America. It is also the tallest aluminum statue in the world. It has an interesting history. In the 1950s, local authorities and religious leaders thought that the hill in central Quito was the perfect place to erect a statue, since it was visible to the entire city. The statue was built with 7,400 pieces of aluminum. It was then disassembled with each piece clearly numbered and shipped to Ecuador, where it was reassembled on top of the base in 1975. So it was 25 years from concept to execution. Number two, Mercado Central. The guide was proud to show me around the Central Market. He took me through the various areas and levels of the market, explaining the significance of what the vendors were selling. These medicinal herbs are used for various wellness treatments. I was intrigued by the meat sellers' assortment. Evidently, Ecuadorians eat all parts of the cow so that nothing goes to waste. And check out these eggs, which are all naturally different colors. We visited a fruit vendor that gave me tastes of numerous kinds of fruit. All of the fruit was tasty, but my favorite was the dragon fruit. It was so fresh and sweet. Next, we visited a place that made juices. I was given one that was made with avocado, tomatoes, and alfalfa. I know it sounds a little odd, but the tomatoes in Ecuador are very sweet, so it was fabulous. We visited several other areas of the market, which were all fascinating. Number three, Plaza Grande. The Plaza Grande, or Independence Square, is a central hub in Old Town. On one corner is the Plaza Grande Hotel, which is one of the only historic hotels that was actually built as a hotel. Most of the other hotels in the historic center are converted family homes. The former presidential palace lined one full side of the plaza. However, the president moved his official building outside of Quito for better security and ease of transportation. Adjacent to the palace is a somewhat hidden monastery. You don't really notice it from the plaza, but once you walk through an entrance, there is a gorgeous central courtyard. Evidently, it was fairly standard to have these interior spaces in monasteries, usually with a fountain in the middle. In the center of Plaza Grande is a large monument dedicated to the heroes of 1809 who fought for Ecuador's independence. It includes Lady Liberty, an Andean condor, and a wounded lion, representing the defeat of the Spanish crown. Number four, Metropolitan Cultural Center. After an earthquake, a former university was converted to the Metropolitan Cultural Center. We walked up two flights of stairs to have a bird's eye view of a church. The building itself is quite unique. Eventually, we visited an interior courtyard where there were two Ecuadorian araucaria trees. Wait for it. I thought the trees were very unique. I'd never seen anything quite like them. Number five, Iglesia de la Compania de Jesus. The seven crosses of Quito refer to stone crosses located at seven historic churches in the city center. We saw a few of these crosses as we were wandering the streets. However, the guide took me to what he considered the most beautiful church, the Iglesia de la Compania de Jesus. And yes, it was a stunner. The outside was ornately carved stonework. Inside, it was almost completely covered with gold and very intricate Moorish designs. Everywhere you looked was something eye-catching. Every square inch of the floor, walls, and ceilings. I was especially enthralled with the arched ceilings and intermittent decorative domes. Just beautiful. Number six, San Francisco Plaza. Our final stop was San Francisco Plaza, which is another centrally located plaza. It is lined with shops, hotels, and restaurants. However, one side is the Convento y Museo de San Francisco. It had two magnificent courtyards, gorgeous cedar floors, and an intimate chapel. It also had these underground tunnels that were common in historic churches. However, these tunnels have been converted into shops, selling all sorts of Ecuadorian souvenirs and art pieces. It was fun to look at the interesting objects, but also to walk through the tunnels. I truly enjoyed the tour and felt like it would have been difficult to see as much without a guide. Quito is a huge city, so it was great to get the highlights in one day. As always, if you have questions, feel free to ask in the comments section. Check out the Senior Solo Travel website, where all my videos are laid out in an easy to access format, and the Travel Facebook forum, where you can interact with other travelers. I've left links in the description below. And if you'd like to follow my senior and solo travel journeys, please like and subscribe. Cheers!